Welcome everyone to the first session of the game series in Odin, where I'm going to build a game and try to release it on Steam. If that ever gonna happen, we don't know. It's gonna be the 1 millionth time I'm trying to do this in my career. It's on my bucket list, so why not, right? So for the people that don't know what game you are building, check out the introduction video. This is going to be a session, but also going to be devlogs about this for the people that don't want to watch 40-minute videos, but this is going to be a pure session coding video, and it's going to be the first one because we just have nothing, right? We only have a main procedure, which is just a function in Odin. And why Odin? Check out the introduction video, right? So we're going to do a couple things here. The question, we're going to use SDL, which is very bare bones, right? Why not relib? Because yes, so we need some stuff. I'm going to say actually here, first of all, create the window here, which is going to be an SDL create window. There's no type hinting or nothing in this thing. It's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. I'm going to say tile, slayers. Then we're going to say SDL. I think it's a window boss. I need to, there's no typing, window boss centered. Is that a thing? Not quite sure. I think I misspelled this, but because we don't have any type hint, it's going to be like that. We're going to use something like 1080 on 900 or something. It doesn't really matter. And then we need to have some flags here, which is going to be SDL. I think it's going to be window shown or shown. Shown. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna work. It's a segmentation fault here. I don't know what it is. It just happens. It doesn't happen on Windows. It happens on Linux. It does. It's only also with Odin. So we will check out that later on. So this is gonna kind of work. It's kind of working because we don't have any errors. That's fine. We also need a renderer here. And we're going to make globals. We're going to put that into a game struct very soon. Render is going to be SDL create renderer. We need to have the window here. And then we need to have -1 because, and then we need to have a constant here, which is going to be SDL, a renderer, accelerated, and maybe SDL dot renderer target texture. Something like that. Let's do make run for the sake of, yes, it's working perfectly fine. All right, then we have the two things. The question is, what are we going to do with them? Maybe we're going to make something like a game struct window a renderer. Yo, something like this. Do we want to initialize our game? Yeah, it's fine. This is fine. I'm just thinking about how to structure this. Game. Actually, we could do, can we do this? Some goal-line shenanigans here. Let's make a pointer to this thing. And we're going to say that the window is going to be the win. Actually, we don't need to do it like that. Window, renderer. Just like that. Then let's make a function here, to be honest. Game, process, events. Pointer. This is so annoying here. This. I'm not used to do that. I'm gonna do this just to check if it's gonna work. Game, process, events, game. Okay, we can't. Parameter lists. Oh yeah, that's true. This is basically, I'm used to writing a lot of Golang lately, so it's going to be like that, make run. Okay, that's fine. Everything works perfectly fine. So what we're going to do here is, let's make a game start function. Proc game. Again, the same mistake here. For, actually, to be honest, is running. Bool. Game is running. I'm gonna loop here. Game, process, events. Actually, to be honest, handle events, process events, doesn't really matter. Put the game inside of here. Perfectly fine. What we're gonna do here is basically event, I'm thinking here. And we're gonna look things up later on. This is basically what I can remember from SDL because I'm using it all my life. It's gonna be an SDL event. Perfectly fine. For event, no. For SDL, poll event. Then we're gonna say a partial switch, I think. I'm going to explain what a partial switch is. Normally, if you do a switch statement on an enum, it basically wants you to cover all the cases, right? If you have an enum from all directions, north, south, west, east, you need to handle them. But if you don't want to handle them, you can do a partial switch, which basically means from, yo, hey, I'm not going to handle all cases. That's the thing. Can we do a case? Quit, is that a thing? Is that a thing? If we quit, game's running is quit, then it's gonna quit here, game start here. That should actually work. Let me see, game, start, game. Make earn, make run. Partial can always be an enum type, yada 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 yada. Partial switch, but what are we switching? Event type. All right. The problem is that if you make a game here, we need to set this is running to true. Can we type, please? Yeah, look at that. So we have our tile slayers game. Beautiful Ali. Can we click this? Yes, perfectly fine. That's the first thing we need. That's nice. So the question rather is, this game is very important. The question is, do we want to pause that everywhere? I don't think so. So what I'm going to try to do is nothing. We're going to see. So the next thing, we need a couple things, right? So if we want to make a game loop, we are going to have a game start. That can be here is fine. Game process events, also good. Then I'm going to make something like game update. Proc. Man, my typing is not at the best. I'm so sorry. Game. And then we also need a game render, right? Boom, game render. So why are we using this? Well, normally you're going to have something like game.render, right? In programming languages. But that's basically syntactic sugar for game by just have a function that takes your game, right? Takes a pointer to your game so you can manipulate the state. So that's a good practice for the people coming from C is to prefix your function with the entity you actually want to modify, right? So game update makes sense that we are updating the game, right? And we are going to have a player update, which basically means going to update the player, right? So game update, game render. So in game update, we are going to do completely nothing. And in game render, we need to do some stuff, right? So we're going to say game, we're going to say SDL, actually. We need to do a render clear, game renderer. And we could actually use something like this, right? I think we could do something like using game, and then we could do a renderer. Is that a thing? We're going to check. I never used this using thing inside of a function. We're going to see. I'm not a big fan of using it like this because it mocks render. Where is it coming from? Deep inside a function. It's a little bit annoying. It's not annoying. It's actually convenient, but it's a little bit of... We're going to see if it works just to test. So we're going to do a render clear. And we're also going to do an SDL, a render present. Is it renderer present or render present? Not quite sure. We need to check it. We're going to see that game start. We're going to process the events. We're going to do a game update here. And then we're going to do a game render here. Right, so that's a game loop. Very simple. We're going to have a process events, update, and render the game. Easy peasy. Let me see if I can do this again. Yeah, it's working perfectly fine. That's amazing. Render clear. So what we're going to do is we could also set, for example, here, SDL set a render draw color renderer. And then we could do something like, for example, 255, 255, 255, which is RGB and then A. And it's going to be a white screen, I think. You see? Perfectly fine. Hey, I know it sounds weird, but that's how you make games. That's how it all works, comes together, right? That's good. Right? That's fine. I like that. The next thing we're going to do is... I'm going to show you actually how to draw things on the screen, but we're also going to directly make a player here. Where's this OLS? I'm going to delete that. It's from... the Odin VS Code thing that I actually deleted because it was bad. It was so bad. New file. We're going to make this a player Odin. Package main. And then we're going to say player. It's going to be a structure, right? So we need to do some stuff here. Because we want to have some shenanigans going on here. I'm thinking here, real quick, what I'm going to do. Maybe I'm going to make a new file. util.odin. Yeah, it is what it is. Package main. Is this also main? Yeah, nice. So we're going to say something like a vector to f. I'm thinking, do we need a vector 2? Do we need a vector with int 32s? Probably not. Probably we do, right? We could do some generics, but I'm not a big fan of that. So we're going to say x, y, i32. So why are we using i32s? Because the whole SDL rectangle shenanigans is, wait, f32. If we don't use a float here, and we're just going to use a vector, we're going to use i32s because the whole SDL library evolves around that. So converting all that bullshit is a little bit nasty. So we're going to use this vector 2, which is just a simple structure. And we could say player position. That's going to be a vector 2f. And I'm still wondering, do we need this comma here? Also, if it's the only one argument. We don't know, right? So then we go to our game. We're going to say player is going to be a player here, right? Do we need a pointer? Yes, we do, I think. Pointer to a player. Can we do player new like this? Procedure. And it's going to return a pointer to a player. What's going on here? And we could do something like return and player. And then say position. Actually, we could give it a position here. Pos. And initial position, if you're going to spawn it, it's going to be on that position, which is going to be a vector 2f. Position is pos, something like that. Of course, we need textures and everything, but we're just testing it out. Like I said, I'm not an Odin specialist. You know what I mean? So where do we create the game? Probably here. We could say player is going to be player new. Vector 2f, going to do like that. That x is going to be, I don't know, put them at 10. Y is going to be 10, right? Something like that. It's going to be so many errors here, not going to lie. Return and player cannot return the errors of a stack value from a procedure. Hey, I see. So we need to do something like p is player is gonna be this. And then we can actually return the player like that. And to be honest, I think that should work, to be honest. Yes, beautiful, right? You create a point. So actually, to be honest, you create a pointer here. But what you could do is do not create a pointer and take the pointer before you instantiate the game. So what you could do is actually delete this pointer, remove that, just return the player like this, right? And then you're gonna have this thing, and then in Odin, it's not gonna work because it wants to have a player here, right? So you could do player new, and then actually take the player in like that, and make run, right? So that's gonna be the same thing. Depends on what you want to use it, right? If you need to call player new a lot of times and you don't want to have pointers all the time, you just do it like this, right? All right, that's coolio. The thing is that if we want to, now we're going to make some functions for this player. We're going to say player update. Still need to get used to all this stuff. It's going to be a procedure. We're going to take a player, pointer to a player actually. That's important. And then we're going to also do player render here. Render. All right, so player updates. If you want to render, now we want to, you see that the problem is that we need to have access to our game. So are we basically going to construct the player so the game is in here? I think that's an idea. Or we make the game globally accessible. Something we need to take in consideration. I'm more of a fan making the game in here, but that needs to be a pointer game. So if you want to construct a new player, then we're going to say game, pointer to a game, and then we're going to say game equals game here. That's fine. Let me see if I can do that. So we're going to make the game is here. Then we have that. So we're going to do this, this, this. Put the game inside of the player here, because that's already a pointer. That's fine. And then we're going to say game.player equals player, something like that. Ooh la la. Yeah, I think I have a little... These things, I always fuck them up for some reason. Always fuck them up. Make run. Player. Cannot assign value player to type player. That's completely true because we need to do this. Make run. Beautiful. Look at that. All right. Next step. Next step in the game is to actually render this, right? So if we want to render that, in our game, our player is going to be a simple... We're going to make it very simple in the beginning, right? Don't over-engineer it at the start. So we're going to say player width, because the width and the height are going to be the same in this case. We're going to make a nice little thing. So the player width, and I'm going to explicitly say it's going to be an I32, is going to be 32. So if you want to render a player, what we're going to do is we're going to make a rectangle, which is going to be an SDL, a rect, right? And in this SDL rect, we are going to have an X, which is going to be the player.position. Right now, it's going to work, but we need to convert these coordinates from screen space, from world space to screen space. It's very important. Of course, right now we don't have the concept of world space, but it's interesting. You're going to see that later on. So I'm going to say y equals player.position x. It's not going to work because these are floats and this takes I32s, but it's going to be player width. It's so annoying that I have no typing at all. Let's convert this to an i32. Do the same thing here, i32. Just for the sake of demonstration here. So we have this rect. And then we're going to say SDL. Can we do using... I'm not sure what this is gonna be, but I'm gonna use something like using game. Can I do play that game? I need to be very careful here that we don't fuck things up. Game renderer and rect. Not quite sure if it's a render fill rect or renderer fill rect. We need to check. So we have this game render here. So in between these things, we're gonna just do something like, actually, to be honest, we also need an SDL delay here. No, it's not true. We're gonna do that in our start. SDL delay 1000 divided by 60, which is gonna give us 60 frames per second, 17 or 16 ms, something like that, I think. Yeah, so what we're gonna do here is game player render game. You see? Game player. That's the thing. So many errors are gonna pop up, I swear to God. Expected an operand. Is that true? What are you talking about? Oh, it's this constant is borked. I thought constant is something like that. Not quite sure. Undeclared name SDL. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. So the problem is that we also need to say something like SDL set render draw color. Let's set it black. Hey, beautiful. That's the player. Amazing. So yeah, like I said, this is all world space territorium. I like to have screen space, I think. We're gonna see that later on. So in util, what we're also gonna do is make something like a color, right? Color is gonna be a struct, and we're gonna do RGBA. And that's going to be... Do we have a U8? B-A U8. Return a colero. Or actually, to be honest, let's make it consistent. R G B, because this game involves around colors a lot, right? Can we do that? So the question actually is, to be honest, if I make a color here and I say color, if I can do something like, just want to see if it's gonna work. Using player color.a. It is. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Color R G B A. Actually, I'm starting to like this using, not gonna lie. To be honest, we could actually use this. Using player. Look at that. It's even better. And we need to make a texture. That's for later on. Let me see if it's gonna work. Yes! Handling input. How are we gonna do that? The question is, are we gonna do it in this video? Maybe. Actually, maybe we should... make some delta time. At 16, that's what I thought. That's fine. How do we do that? I don't know what is it going to be. It's going to be in U32. U32, I think. Not quite sure. Because we're going to do something like... frame start is going to be SDL get ticks. There is something like get ticks 46, but it's not supported in the bindings, I think. Yeah, it's not supported. It's a little bit annoying. SDL get ticks. Is that gonna work? Yes, it is. So that's good. SDL get ticks frame start. So what we need to do if the game is running. Frame time. Get ticks. I'm gonna say delta dt is going to be current time minus game dot frame start. And NDT. True that. Compiler never lies. So the problem is I don't want to have these. This needs to be in floats in my opinion. Simple things, but fuck me. Good times couldn't frame, right? It's couldn't frame. Wait, so this is just the first thing. Then we're going to say at the current time is SDL get text. We're going to subtract these things. Yeah, that's what we want. The thing is, of course, that because dt needs to be a float. It's fine. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be, guys. Actually, I want it to be because for calculations later on. For calculations later on. Just keep that. So now we have this delta time. So we want to actually put that into the game update, to be honest, right? DT. I cannot even go GD, man. It's not even working in this thing. It's annoying. Game update. I'm gonna go DT. You see, now it's gonna be an I32. Actually, to be honest, a U32 for now. But I wanna have it an F32 for calculations later on. Otherwise, we need to cast this all the fucking time. So F32 is fine. But it's gonna be a U32 for now. We're gonna call here player update game DT. Actually, to be honest, game player DT like that. That's perfectly fine. DT U32. So what we could do before we handling input, actually, just to round this video up, 30 minutes of bootstrapping stuff, not too shabby, right? We could do something like player position dot x plus equals, for example, a move speed. To be honest, actually, you could already do this, right? No, it's fine. We're gonna do this move speed. You see, this conversion is annoying because it's going to be player move speed times dt, right? That works out of the bat, or not? Yeah, you see, it's already problematic, right? It's fucking annoying. I know, it's just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Plus equals, what's going on here? F32. Yes, I got it. You see, that's what I was thinking, because this, no. This is gonna be an F32. Like I said, because we're gonna convert this to screen space, and screen space positions are gonna need to be floats, right? And the move speed can also be a beautiful F32 here, which is gonna be 0, so we need to fix that. Move speed is going to be, I don't know, 1.4 or something like that. I don't know. Make run. Boom, you see the player is moving, right? Let's make it a little bit softer. For example, 0.5. Is it gonna work? Not quite sure. Let's see. Right, the player is moving. Beautiful, right? That's the thing. Now everything is set up. Now is the time to continue. So what's going to be the next steps? Next steps are going to be make a camera, which is just an abstraction around converting your position to your world space to a screen space. You can also have a zoom, right? If you have a camera, it's just a structure that holds values, so you can multiply, divide them, and you can scale. You can make the illusion of a camera and move it around, and all that stuff. You're also going to make a tile grid, because we're going to do some stuff with dynamic coloring and all that stuff. You're going to see that later on, right? So thanks everyone for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave some questions in the comments. Jump into my Discord community, and see you soon in the next live stream video or whatever. Bye bye.